Welcome back to the second ever episode of Planks of the Week. Last week's was so successful, we got it to do it again. So today I'm joined by the delightful Dawn Neesom. Very good afternoon to you. And Mahyar Tousi, who is of course the most famous conservative YouTuber in the history of the world.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to both of you. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of mentions of the royal family, I would imagine.
Have they done something then?
They have done quite a lot, yes. And of course, in one of your many columns, I dare say you might be writing about this, right?
I possibly might have mentioned them.
But I'm not going to mention the two Harry and Meghan names, but either one of you could do if you want. So I'm going to go to Mahyar first and ask you for your first nomination.
It's not going to be Harry and Meghan. I'm going to start easy. I'll go with Clive Lewis.
Clive Lewis.
Who until yesterday was standing to be the next Labour leader. A few days ago he proposed to have a referendum on the monarchy.
Yeah.
But then, which is, that's a whole different topic. You could say if it's a good idea or a bad idea. But then he was on TV, I think it was on Sky on Sunday. He was asked about his policy. And he was asked, so what will be your position personally in that referendum? And he said, well, I will listen to the actual debate. I'm like, he's a Republican.
This is now the new Labour mantra.
Yeah, this is Jeremy Corbyn all over again with Brexit.
Yeah.
He said at the beginning of the rant, he said, I'm a Republican, I don't like the monarchy, we have to get rid of it. And then said, we have a referendum. So what's your position? I'll listen to the debate and decide. Like,
unbelievable.
How hard is it?
I mean, I've been talking to quite a few Labour people in the last couple of weeks over this whole leadership thing, and they just don't get it. They still keep saying things like, our policies were very popular. And, we obviously know that lots of people wanted us to do what we were saying we were going to do. And you kind of go, well, why didn't you get elected then?
Have you not listened? And that's why you can't nominate any of those five people.
No.
It's too easy.
As planks, because A, it's too easy. It's like you're literally a shoo-in. And B, which one do you choose?
Well, exactly.
All five of them? I mean, they're all as bad as each other, aren't they?
I think they should have a sort of revolving leadership so that, once a month you change into somebody else.
That's the new policy.
Much,
Part of the rules is that what they want to have is whoever is the next leader after 2 years to review again and have another election.
Really?
Yeah, to make sure if everyone's happy in the party.
Well, I suppose it's the only chance they've got of winning an election, isn't it? If they win their own election for the leader of the party. because they can go, I won the election. Oh, right, okay, then, very good.
I guess if you're going to pick one, it'd be Keir Starmer. I'm not nominating him, by the way, because I won't waste my breath.
Because you fancy him.
Yeah, it's right up my street. I mean, obviously, so up my street.
Posh lawyers.
Posh lawyers, really. Well, this is the
point. From North London.
This is the point. You lost the election because you weren't in touch with the northern working class voters.
Right.
So you're going to give them a posh North London lawyer.
Yeah, he's in touch with the posh North London voters.
Yeah, exactly. But Jeremy Corbyn was in touch with them, and look what he got.
I know, absolutely right. They got Putney. I mean, you have to say that
Putney,
one of the great victories of the working class Labour Party to win Putney.
Good
absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, no, I mean, I think they'd lost for a generation.
I think so.
I don't think they're going to get back into power in 10 years, never mind 5.
No, well, any of these people, any of these 5, I think they're finished, and there's no one else.
And when you said about Clive Lewis that you thought, you wondered what his position was going to be, I thought you were going to say, on your knees, bitch, because that's what he said. That's what he said once on stage, to a woman. But it was a joke. But of course, for the woke generation, you can't really talk to women like that, I'm afraid, and make out that you're going to be involved in some kind of sadomasochistic torture sex session. It doesn't really work.
No, I guess not.
You can't see Jess Phillips enjoying that, can you?
But I'm looking forward to see, after listening to the debate, what position he's going to pick.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yes. Well, and of course, he had absolutely no support whatsoever. And he's also the guy, let's not forget, who claimed that everybody who voted for Brexit was basically a racist.
Well, this is the issue, isn't it?
And
they still haven't learned. They still haven't learned that lesson.
No.
You are all still
and he was asked again
racists.
about it, and he said the same thing.
Yeah.
He walked away from it slightly and said, oh, well, of course, not everybody who voted for Brexit
just the majority
is a racist. But it was more or less saying that everybody who is a racist voted Brexit, basically, which was the other way around,
Yeah.
So away from the Labour Party, where are you going to go first?
Talking of racism, shall we mention Harry and Meghan?
I think we must.
I think we have to.
We're going to have to, yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's easy to pick on Meghan because she's female, she's American, she's an actress.
And a massive pain in the arse.
A massive pain in the bottom, absolutely. However, it's 6 to 1 and half dozen the other. Harry is as much to blame on this one. Harry is supposedly a grown man.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all, because I think to make him blameless and just have him being terribly manipulated.
No.
Yes, up to a point, but he's still, as you say, I mean, he's 30 odd. He's not like 21.
No,
is he?
exactly.
He has free will.
So I think the two of them come as a pair in this one, and it's like and it's nothing to do with racism. You know what, Mike? The one thing that's really annoyed me about this is the implication from both of them that this entire country and the press, the radio, the TV, the newspapers,
we're all racist, apparently.
Racist.
Well, this is why I agreed
we
with.
have bullied her out of this country.
I agree with Piers Morgan on this yesterday when he said, and he's right. There's not one example in the press, British press, of racism.
No.
You might find some obviously odd people out there, like individuals who say something,
of course,
but not the press. The press. Didn't
also, of course, there are racists in every country in the world. However, Britain as a country is one of the least racist countries that we know of.
We were so happy when she first came over. I know it's almost a cliche now, but a breath of fresh air. We paid how much? 32 million for that lovely wedding. I think her dress was £300,000. Any case, and it was like rather than weighty Katie, who was a bit boring. Meghan was this feisty, independent woman, and then they started digging this hole for themselves and haven't stopped.
Right. She apparently was the one that told Meghan off
for having a go at the staff.
To the staff in the way that she speaks, because she's very haughty, it seems. She's very diva-like, it would appear. And it started to become apparent that people couldn't work very long in her household.
Staff they got through.
And once they got through 4 or 5 people started suddenly, and I think newspaper people like yourself would have started looking at that going, wait on a minute,
there's something going on here. There is.
When she did that interview with People magazine, or her friends gave their interview to People magazine about
outrageous.
How, she goes out and when the soldiers are cold, she goes out and gives them gloves. And it's like, oh, do me a favour. What is this, Saint? Saint Meghan.
What frustrates me, I'm really worried about this potential tell-all interview that they want to do in America.
They're the one that blackmailed the Queen over.
Marv.
So
with the help of the ITV royal correspondent.
Tom Bradbury,
I hope this was discussed in this summit, Megxit summit yesterday. That don't do it. I hope so, because this is not going to go well. Like you thought the Diana interview in the 90s was bad. This is going to be even worse.
Well, this is. I mean, I covered that story, and I'm covering this one now, and this is why it's just such a brilliant story. It's such a talker because I've never experienced anything like this since Diana.
Yeah.
And going back to Tom Bradbury.
For us, it's fantastic.
It's amazing. And going back to Tom Bradbury and that ill-fated tour they did of South Africa, where they were standing next to little kids who've had their limbs blown off with landmines, saying, well, it's all about thriving, not surviving.
Yeah, I'm not okay.
We're having a hard time. And no one ever asked me how I feel. You're standing next to a kid who's had his legs blown off.
I know.
That was when I thought, I'm finished with you, both of you. It's
but you know what the problem is, and I've been talking a lot about this lately with people, is that we've got this kind of media now and society where basically it's okay for you to say you're not okay, and then suddenly then you become the point of the story. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter that you're standing next to somebody who's suffering from cancer because you're not okay. It's a sort of classic narcissistic way to go about things.
And as soon as someone mental health is a terrible thing, and we know the male suicide rates in this country are awful. But as soon as someone now plays the mental health card, you can't say anything about it.
And it diminishes everyone.
But this is the problem, because people were encouraged, including celebrities, to be open about their feelings or whatever. But what we meant when we were telling celebrities, we said what we mean is talk to your friends and your doctor. Don't come on the TV and see that, because what will happen, I know it's good intention, but firstly you're going to create some enemies, and some people also, as you said, they're going to feel uncomfortable saying things anymore, and then you're going to also feel like a victim. You're not going to get proper help, because you'll be like...
Also, they're running away from what they're calling press intrusion, right? But they're going to go and give an interview to an American network and invading their own privacy.
And if they think the paparazzi over here are bad, and they are not in any way, shape or form, because we know how to behave in this country, the American paparazzi... God!
Well, I said to somebody the other day, if I was a younger man, I would, and they were going to Canada, I'd go and set up a news agency right outside the front door, and make a fortune, because somebody will, because that's what Splash did in the sort of 80s. Gary Morgan and what's his face, the other guy, Smith. And they went and started up a paparazzi agency in Hollywood,
made a fortune,
and made an absolute fortune.
Maybe this is a gap. Maybe there's a gap in the market. But I mean, it's,
but if they think that that's not going to happen,
I know
they're barking up the wrong tree.
But they are really, they're not the sharpest tools in the box either, are they?
No, they're really not. They're
so navel-gazing, self-interested, entitled that they can't actually see beyond their own
and also
narrow
this is the bit
worlds.
that I don't get, where people who you would otherwise think are quite intelligent are saying things like, they'll make a fortune because they'll be like the Obamas. President Obama was president of the United States of America.
Yeah, he did
quite
something
a smart
useful.
guy. Michelle Obama is a very intelligent woman, and people want to know what they've got to say. These two bozos, I couldn't care less. I wouldn't pay you tuppence halfpenny to listen to anything they have to say.
Meghan's a glorified soap actress, isn't she? I mean, sorry, nothing wrong with being an actress.
She's very good at taking her clothes off.
Yeah, well,
apparently.
You've got to have some skills in life, Mike. I mean,
that's the only clips I've ever seen of Suits. Nobody that I know has ever seen Suits.
I've never seen it.
Nobody I know has ever seen it.
You haven't seen Suits?
No, nobody's seen it.
No, I've never seen it, no. No.
Somebody once described it, right, and I thought this was brilliant, as one of those mafia shop fronts. It's not really a TV show. It's just they pretend it's a TV show, but nobody's ever seen it. No. So it's like when you set up the mafia.
Someone's making money.
You set up the mafia shop front. And you don't actually do anything. You just sit there drinking coffee all day. I don't know anyone that's seen the show.
That's true.
No, I haven't.
Now I'm going to continue with the theme, but this is where it starts to get a bit interesting because I'm going to take away from the Harry and Meghan pair themselves. However, I'm going to put on the plank list a man who was defending them, who said that this was a foul country and it was a racist country, and this is why they've been forced out. And do you know who that was? A bloke by the name of Philip Pullman. This is a guy who's worth about 35 million quid. He's got his new TV show, His Dark Materials, very successful show on television.
I couldn't watch that.
He's
Didn't get that.
No, it's not for me. I think he did The Golden Compass as well. It's all about these kind of mythical beasts and all that. He's also the guy that said that Boris Johnson should be lynched and hung from a lamppost.
Nice guy.
Same guy, right? Yeah. Now, hang on. This is a bloke who's made most of his money from the people of this country. If he thinks it's so bloody foul, why doesn't he just get out of it and go and live? He can go live in Canada as well, for all I can say.
Oh, I didn't realise
Sir Philip Pullman.
Right, okay.
What a plank.
Yeah, totally.
It's fascinating because this whole racism stuff with Meghan, firstly, even the people I've spoken with over the last couple of years since she came here, the biggest problems that they had with her was actually her being American, the mindset of being American. And America is not a race. So we could say the same about, for example, some people don't like people from Cornwall or Yorkshire or London.
Right.
It's because of the cultural mindset.
It's a cultural difference, and there is a huge cultural difference, isn't
nothing
there?
to do with skin colour.
Also, it's not good enough just to say that because her skin colour is vaguely browner than mine.
She's not even black. She's half like...
No, but I read a piece by that woman Afua Hirsch, I think it is, who wrote for the New York Times, right? And she, in quoting the 4 things that apparently were racist, she mentioned Danny Baker's tweet, right? Now, Danny Baker, and she called him a BBC host. She didn't mention him by name, as if it was somehow sanctioned by the BBC, right? Now, whatever you may think of Danny Baker, and I happen to think he's a bit daft. I mean, I don't know.
That wasn't the best thing to do.
Whether he was being racist when he put it out. The bottom line is Danny Baker doesn't represent anyone. He's just an individual.
One individual.
Right? And I don't think there's any evidence that he has in the past been racist. I'm not sure that he is.
In fact, the opposite,
I think he was probably drunk, and I think he was trying to make a different point. And in any event, if that's the only one thing out of 4 things that you can prove makes Britain racist, I'm sorry, it's not convincing.
I just don't understand why we have to put one race of someone above the other one, because as someone who's slightly brown, my friends say I'm a bad cup of tea, but Meghan is but Meghan is half white, half black.
Yeah.
Why is her black side basically has to be the priority, and they're like, she's a black woman.
Exactly.
Well, she's also white at the same
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
It is nonsense.
Yeah.
However, I do have to say that it's a very strong contender for Plank of the Week, though. So let's go to number 2 for you, because we're getting up there in the time scale.
Yes. Okay. My next one is actually the Iranian government.
Oh, God. The Iranian government.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to put this one up? Because imagine if they come top.
Yeah. They're going to come after. No, so the Iranian regime, obviously, we've had some bad stuff happening in the last couple of weeks, few weeks, but there is something ridiculous, and it backfired massively. So the last couple of days, what they've been doing, they started from university campuses. Now they're using a lot of public places. They paint the flags of the United States and Israel so that the public automatically have to walk on them.
I saw this on the staircase.
Yeah, so then they can film it and take pictures saying, look at the public walking on it.
Stamping on the flag.
And then the backfire was that the people have been avoiding to actually go on this flag.
Yes, I've seen a video of that.
And they're now doing it from everywhere. So it started from that place. Now they're painting them, all the kind of the bridges and roads and
that's getting a little bit weird from an
patriotic,
aerial shot.
They're promoting America.
God bless America and Israel. I mean, people might get the wrong end of the stick.
So it's a ridiculous stunt which didn't work.
Mad. Whose idea was that?
I don't know.
It's funny actually, because in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and as you say, notwithstanding the terrible shooting down of the airliner, they seem to have gone from being the world's most scary country
just ridiculous
to a collection of clowns.
Yeah, it's like the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've suddenly
Actually, it's a fine line.
Trump,
they're friends.
Have you seen in the room at the same time?
Yeah. By Trump killing that guy off.
Yeah.
He's almost completely neutered them. It seems as though they now don't know what to do.
It's like we killed Dominic Cummings. The whole strategy is gone now.
Yeah, I mean, this guy must have been really important, because they clearly, without him, haven't got a clue.
No.
But I mean, I was reading today, just a few hours ago, that their chief sort of newsreader has quit after 13 years of reading the news on Iraqi state TV, which I think is the same mob that Jeremy Corbyn worked for.
Yeah.
And he said that he was really, really sorry for lying to the public for 13 years.
Yes.
Amazing.
Actually, apparently.
I wonder when Andrew Marr's going to go.
Okay. I can't work for the BBC anymore.
There's a whole list.
All the lies.
We had the BBC in last week, actually, so we'll be interesting to see if they stay in. So who's your second one then?
Right, my second one is a chap called Oscar.
Oscar?
If that's okay.
Okay. Not Oscar the Grouch.
It's not Oscar the Grouch, and it's not actually a real-life breathing person.
Okay, right.
It is a 12-inch statuette, spray gold.
Oh, that Oscar.
The Oscars.
It's so off my radar now that I didn't even think of it.
Well, the thing is,
They're just too white, aren't they?
Obviously it's the nominations, and the award for Best Oscar goes for the annual shout out that they are racist, sexist, and it's like there's too many white middle-aged men nominated for awards. Now, maybe they're just good at their jobs. Maybe.
And they've just been in some really good films.
Exactly. Why do actors, in particular, need so many gongs for doing their job?
I know.
Why?
And also, why do they have to have so many ceremonies which are basically the same?
Go on for hours.
In different places.
Go on for hours.
This is a very good point,
Golden
actually.
Globes, then the Oscars, then there's the BAFTAs.
Yeah, these awards things actually good. Not many people think about this, but these are the people who are very successful, very rich, and actually talented. They, some of them, at least.
Some of them.
And they get big money anyway. And but then these ceremonies are their bonuses.
Right.
And with a lot of attention. At the same time, when you go look at other industries, and people are fine with it, ordinary people out there, a lot of them. And then you look at like banking, or things like that, where they get a lot of money as well. They're talented. When they get bonuses, the public go mental.
Yes,
exactly.
They're not allowed to do it. But actually,
Yeah.
it's also quite an insidiously clever way of making people go to see the movies. Because I know people, as I'm sure you do, who, when they see that something's been nominated for an Oscar or that it's won an Oscar, they'll immediately say they want to see it. And they always get a boost at the box office if they win an Oscar.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a publicity
But most of the Oscar
stunt.
films are a little bit too politically correct as well. They never get.
They probably are.
I mean,
boring.
Boring.
I mean, I don't really go to the cinema at all now, apart from when my kids want to go and see a new movie that's come out and I go with them. But even now, they're getting old enough to go on their own. So, I mean, I don't actually enjoy I'm now of an age when I sit in the cinema and it's a dark room, and unless it's a really captivating
You fall
movie,
asleep.
I'm sleeping within about 20
But you'd have been proud of me.
Well, that was the difference between. So a lot of people wanted The Wolf of Wall Street. And DiCaprio to win that, but then he didn't win that. He won The Revenant.
Yeah, which is awful.
You can't watch that.
No,
it's terrible.
It is terrible.
No, I've tried watching it a couple of times. It's like, but mind you, I have the same problem with The Irishman. I've tried watching that.
3 hours.
And
I can't sit still
for 3 hours.
No.
It's a bit slow,
I don't like what they're doing to their faces. They've got this weird sort of CGI.
I can't watch that.
And I can't watch it.
1917, went to see it at the weekend. Absolutely brilliant.
Say that.
However, if there was a food plank award, it would be popcorn.
Yeah, but hang on. The director of that was on my sort of long list of planks. He's not going to make it on.
Oh, right, okay.
Because
but it's a good film.
Well, apparently it is, but he said in one of the publicity interviews that he was doing for the film, this shows you precisely what everybody fought for, to keep the united Europe united.
Oh,
and that's why we should be staying in the European Union.
No.
This is, what's his face? Kate Winslet's
This is the war that Europe was fighting.
Well, I mean, we were actually fighting the Germans, who were part of Europe.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is wrong with you people?
Mendes. Sam Mendes. Thank you.
Right.
Thank
another
you.
one for the plank list, but long version, because leading on from your Oscars, I'm going to go with one of the men who's been nominated for his part in The Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, right? Not because he's very good, supposedly, in The Joker, but because he got himself arrested a few days ago at a rally for climate change, and he got up. And this is, by the way, the same guy who demanded that the Golden Globe should be vegan only, because he's now got it into his head that he wants to save the planet by not eating any meat.
This is the thing with Oscar, isn't it? Stop lecturing
me. And he actually got up and made a speech, and it was all organised by Jane Fonda, the woman who wanted North Vietnam to win the Vietnamese.
This is getting better by the second, this one, isn't it?
And he goes, we all have to do what we can, and the meat industry is killing our planet, and sometimes we can't do everything right. For example, I flew here from Los Angeles. And you go, you moron.
What?
Idiot. You flew there to complain about eating meat. What are you doing? What are you thinking? I mean, Joker doesn't even begin to cover it.
I was going to say, what a Joker.
What a Joker.
See what I did there?
We all did that.
Yeah, so time for your number 3.
So this is fun. Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the European Commission. she has ordered the European Parliament, apparently, to go around the offices, at least we know about the British MEP offices, to take their flag
I've heard this.
from their private offices on their desks. It's not like...
So you will have no flags?
Yeah, because we can't have flags. Because if they put their flags on the street in Brussels or in the corridors of Parliament, I'm like, fine, you could kick off.
I hope she never goes to Iran, basically. We have a real problem over there.
There'll be flags everywhere.
Take those American flags
Magic drill.
So yeah, they went to Nigel Farage's office, in his personal desk. You know, it's an office with a door, so no one's going to see the flag. They like just took the flag out.
That's unbelievable.
That's wrong.
That is unbelievable, isn't it?
How childish is that?
I know, but
really?
this shows, because we used to like complain about the old gang, the Juncker, Tusk and all that lot. The new group are even worse.
Yeah.
They are radically going towards destroying nation states and then going with this federal state of Europe. And like,
well, they're going to have to do it with a lot less money. Starting very soon.
Apparently they could take us to the court over the Northern Ireland stuff.
Well, maybe they could hire Julian Moron for that, who was on the planks list. He might be a bit
busy, mightn't he?
Well, he's gone very quiet. Still, it's another week we still haven't heard from him since Boxing Day.
I've heard he's been taken out by a gang of foxes.
They do get you back. Why would you tweet that? Why would you tweet that?
I mean, forget what he did. Tweeting it was the worst thing he's ever done in his life.
Telling people what he was wearing.
I think he was still drunk. He must have been drunk.
He must have been, surely.
It's not the kind of thing you do in normal sense.
No.
But I was saying to Brendan O'Neill yesterday on the off-air show, if it's not an allegory for Brexit, I don't know what is, and the Remainers, right? He started off the year in a court of law trying to stop Brexit legally. He ends the year bashing a fox to death with a baseball bat. That's good. That's it in a nutshell.
Trend, isn't it, really? Yeah.
So you're number 3.
I am going to be a wee bit controversial here.
Are you?
I know.
About time.
That's the thought. Hey, you. Get off you, rapid. I'm actually going to nominate the Queen.
The Queen?
Her Majesty. I know.
I'm not sure that can be done.
Block your ears up.
I may have to
it's
talk
right,
to the gallery.
I live quite close to the tower. So, I know. However, I think, to be honest with you, I do think she's handled the whole Harry and Meghan situation as well as anybody could.
I thought she did brilliantly in the Sandringham Summit.
However, there's a tiny weeny bit of me, Mike, that would like her to just get hold of her grandson by his earlobe and go, listen, Sonny, this is your job. Get on with it. Shut up. Put up.
Yes.
If we're going to pay
I agree
you,
with that,
and give her a little smack on the bum.
What, and say, don't bother going back to your wife, just leave her in Canada.
Leave her in Canada.
And I'll get you a new one.
I'll get you an Iranian one. They're going to come in.
I'll get you a new bride.
So, yeah, I mean,
I think you've been a bit harsh
joking.
there.
Oh, no, well, so what? Joking aside, I think...
You're going to have MI5 walking in now.
With the Persian government, we're doing well. So I think, yes, it's a little bit harsh on her, but a bit of me thinks, you've given in to blackmail here, I think. Because
well, we don't yet know what she's doing. You see, people seem to be unsure as to whether or not her mentioning them as Meghan and Harry means that she's going to take away the Duke and Duchess titles. I was talking to Dan Wootton earlier. He doesn't think that's going to happen.
Or whether it was just her trying to be a bit more human and referring him to, I agree, by their first name.
Well, that's what he thinks.
Because she did that with Diana.
That she was being just the Queen. She was being Elizabeth rather than the Queen.
Yeah, rather than coming across all official. But I'm sorry.
I take your point in a way, because I've said that I think the whole royal family have to take some blame for letting this horrible, ghastly individual into the house.
Why did they approve this?
It's like opening the door for a burglar.
Which one, Harry?
No.
Why did you let him in?
Meghan. I mean, well, my final one is going back to the world of actors again, because I'm afraid it is that man from the California LAPD picture, Mr. Hugh Grant.
I love Hugh.
What?
No, I'm joking.
Jeez,
that's the second time you get me a heart attack.
To throw you out of the room. No, because would you believe it? Not content with backing every single election candidate to lose, because every single person that he endorsed lost the election, right? He puts out a tweet last night in which he says that it is now clearer than ever that when you talk to people around the country and when you look at all the polling that's been done, that there is a massive, in his words, desire to remain in the European Union. And people are going, what?
Huh? Where is he hanging out?
Where are you getting this
Hollywood
from?
Boulevard.
Where's Europe? I mean, it's just incredible that he would have such arrogance as to think, one, that anybody cares what he thinks, two, that the people who voted in a massive number for Brexit, not only in the referendum but in the last election, are all idiots. They've got it all wrong, and only he knows the right way.
This is the acting thing, isn't it? It's like you were saying about Joaquin Phoenix. It's like, I'm flying here to lecture you on what to eat.
Yeah.
No, go away.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because these people don't know when they're in an echo chamber. They can't see the echo chamber when they're inside. Because in their industry, even like entertainment, there are various types of people. So they think, okay, I had a chat here in London. Now I'm going to go have a chat in Manchester, like theatre or something, and LA. So these are all different people.
Yeah.
No,
this is the
it's still
problem,
an echo
I think.
chamber.
And I think this is
just
the problem
the
which takes us back
arrogance.
to your first nomination, the Labour Party. They only talk to each other.
Yeah.
So they're sort of busy trying to impress each other
Yeah.
with their ideas,
Yeah.
forgetting that everybody
They're not talking to
outside
the
is
people.
going, no,
No.
we're not interested.
No,
actually.
absolutely.
You can forget it.
And then they double down on it by telling us we're stupid and racist.
Yeah.
But thanks to the internet, thanks to obviously now radio coming back up, or social media, even Twitter and YouTube, all this stuff, the voices of ordinary people are now actually being heard.
Yes.
Whereas before, one of the reasons in the 2000s, Blair found it so easy to keep winning elections was because that echo chamber, you couldn't hear the ordinary people. It was like they thought people are just London liberal, avocado eating.
Yeah.
Although to be fair to Blair, I mean, most of what he did was all right.
Oh yeah,
you know?
certain
I
parts
actually
of the
thought he
government
was quite a
actually
good prime,
and also
prime minister.
the opposition were terrible at
People
that
always give me
time.
grief
Yes.
because of the Iraq
Yeah.
War. But yeah, the Tories was awful.
Absolutely terrible.
Absolutely in turmoil. I mean, do you remember when Michael Howard was in charge of the Tories?
Are you thinking what we're thinking?
And there's something of the night about him and all that sort of stuff. And then they had William Hague for a while.
Yeah.
And then they had Ian Duncan Smith, who's much better now. But then we did that ridiculous...
quiet man
the
raising
quiet
up the
man
volume.
is raising it up.
I know.
And it's like, no.
It's embarrassing.
No, it's not working, man.
I get
You know.
IDS and IBS confused, but that's easily done.
Yeah, it is easily done. Now, here's the fun part, right? So we've now got 9 nominations, okay? Now we have to pick one from each of us, right? So
who picks who?
you can decide whose one you pick. You want to pick one of Dawn's or do you want to pick one of mine?
Harry and Meghan.
Harry
Okay.
and Meghan. I think
Fine,
that has
thank
to be
you.
there. I'm glad that's made it into the final.
No,
Jack.
it has to,
So that means
really.
that you're going to have to now pick mine.
I'm actually going to go, I think, with Hugh Grant.
I'm going to nominate yours as the Iranian government because I think that's
Flags.
I
like that one. The
like
flags
it.
is good.
I like it a
The
lot.
flags is good, yeah.
Well, I just like
Yeah.
also the greatest enemy of dictatorship is humour. I
Yes,
think.
absolutely.
And by
Yes,
calling the
yeah,
Iranians
yeah.
planks,
Yeah.
the Iranian government,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
appeals to me.
Yes.
I like the sound of
Well,
it.
we did that in the 40s and 30s with the Nazis. We make jokes about them, we
Yeah,
make movies
exactly.
about them,
Yeah.
TV shows. But now we can't. We can't.
No, we
Not
can't
allowed
make
to
jokes
now.
about that now, no.
Well, no, that's because we are Nazis now, and
Yeah.
that's what we get called.
According to
you know.
Meghan and Harry, yeah,
It's all
obviously.
it's all gone far right.
It's almost like we've rehearsed this, isn't it? There's a seamless link between
Well,
all of
because
this.
the thing about what we do is we talk common sense, right? Which is in very short supply these days, apart from in places like this and in places like Talk Radio and on his YouTube channel and in your
In my columns.
And, you know, and your many appearances on television. I mean, how many appearances
Many,
on TV did you have last year? Did you ever count?
I
them
don't
up?
count them up. No, people phone up. I
Must
turn
have
up.
been
That's
quite a
fine.
few.
As many as Tinder dates I had last year. Basically. A lot.
That's a hell of a lot.
Right, okay, yeah, fine, thank you. I hadn't really thought about it that way. I'm going to start counting now.
4 figures then. Right, so now, an even harder part is to reduce the 3 to 2. So one of them has to go.
So how do we do it now?
Well, we just kind of discuss it really. I mean,
Okay,
we sort
see
of
which
try
ones,
and
yeah.
reach a resolution. I'm going to say I don't see how we can throw out Harry and Meghan.
No, we
No,
can't.
we have
No,
to keep-
we
really
have to do
they
Harry
have to be
and
one of the
Meghan.
final
might actually
two.
win.
So I mean,
we'll see.
Well, I mean, it's going to be really hard
Yeah.
to justify not making them the top
I
planks of the week, isn't
know.
it? It really
it's
is.
I love the flags. I do love the Iranian flags,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
must admit. I mean, I think we could possibly lose Hugh.
We could lose
Because
you.
he is a waste of
Yeah.
space.
And he has appeared on the plank list before.
That's
Right,
true.
yeah,
know,
well,
so
he's
a regular
sometimes-
attendee.
He's
yeah.
going to be a perennial
And I
favourite.
could be pretty sure he'll make it on there again.
Yeah, every
at
time
some
he opens
point
his
soon.
mouth.
I don't mean there are no egos here, of course, so I don't
No,
mind
okay.
that none of my
No, it's
choices
your
have
show,
made
Mike.
it
It's
to
your
the
show, that's
final
fine.
two.
So the top two,
Mahyar
Harry
and
and
Mira
Meghan.
just,
So the top two are the Iranian Republic
Flags.
and Harry and Meghan.
fine, I
I mean,
don't need a
in and of
bodyguard.
itself, it's a great choice, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, what could be better?
Well, if Harry and Meghan are going to get us to pay for their security, I think Maya and I might need someone to pay for our security when we walk out of here now.
Well, I'm going to say that now's the time to put your hand up if you
Right.
think that Harry and Meghan are the top planks of the week. And I think
I'm
it's going to have to be
sorry,
unanimous,
I think
isn't
this
it?
is unanimous,
It is.
isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is.
This is like a sort of meeting Stalin just had. Unanimously.
So that's it then.
I think if even if the Queen was here, she'd be going, yeah.
She'd be doing
Does
it.
she win anything right now, or does she?
Well, at the moment, we're
Like an
thinking
Oscar.
of a sort of a plank style award.
Oh, brilliant.
But it doesn't get given to the person who nominated them. It gets given to them.
Oh.
So because that's the next stage.
Imagine if Iran had won, we had to send it to Iran.
Well, I'm going to, we can
Pop
start,
back to Canada.
bike one over to Canada, to Vancouver Island,
Yeah.
and just get somebody outside holding the plank.
that'd be
for them.
amazing.
So that's
We
the
should
kind of
do that. I think
once
we
we
should
get
do
the
that,
budget increase, that's what we're going to do. So that's this week's plank of the week. I mean, it had to be really Harry and Meghan, didn't it? It couldn't be anybody else. You couldn't just do one or the other.
No.
Cheeky and late entry of the Queen didn't quite make
Yeah.
it.
That was a bit of fun, though.
But it was a bit of fun. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Mahyar. We'll be back next week.